Hello, everybody. I want to show you something I have never seen before in very many years of doing solar installation in Kenya. This is a 10 kilowatt solar inverter. It's completely dead, installed just a few years ago. That is not what shocked me. So the battery is supposed to read 12 volts. It is reading 6. It's dead, completely gone. And this one, and this one, and this one. So out of the 16 batteries, 5 are completely destroyed, and the whole house has been running on this system. So here is what actually happened, and every solar owner in Kenya needs to hear this. A few weeks ago, I received a message from a client. Her parents live in Kitale. They have a solar system that has been installed for several years, 5 years to be exact. So one day, handyman came to do some work in the house, and he did something that I see people do all the time without realizing how dangerous it is. So he plugged his angle grinder directly into the solar system's output sockets. The house was running on solar at that time. And so there was an option for switching from solar to KPLC, but someone forgot to switch from solar to KPLC. So the guy came, connected an angle grinder. In case you're wondering what an angle grinder is, this is what an angle grinder is. But this one is battery powered. This one is battery powered, but there are those ones which have a cord that use electricity. So now I want you to listen carefully, because this is the lesson. This is where the lesson is. An angle grinder has what engineers call an inductive motor. When you switch it off or when it stalls, it creates a reverse voltage spike. We call it back-EMF. By stalling, meaning that when it's running and then it stops immediately, that's what we mean by stalling, creates what we call a back-EMF. So that spike travels back into your inverter. And if your inverter is not designed to handle it, which most are not, it destroys the internal voltage regulation circuit instantly. And this is what exactly happened in this case. But here is where it got really bad. After the incident, the family switched the system back on, and the damaged inverter, instead of outputting a safe 220 volts as it should, started pushing voltage far above that, way above it. You can imagine how many volts it went. So every light bulb in the house went kaput. The fridge guard started burning. Luckily, there was someone close by. He noticed the smoldering and the smoking, and he went and switched off the system. So, do you know what would have prevented all of that damage? Just one device, costing a few thousand shillings, called an automatic voltage switch. So you can see it here. A small device, but can really save you a lot of damage. So this little device, it can detect when voltage goes above a safe level, and it disconnects the house within milliseconds. Milliseconds. By milli, we mean thousand of a second. So in this case, unfortunately, it was not installed on this system. This is a pre-existing deficiency from the original installer, and the family, unfortunately, had to pay the price for it. So now, this is what we found on site. When we arrived in Kitale to assess the system, the powerhouse, the room with the inverter and batteries had been completely switched off. the family had done the right thing, which was a wise thing to do. So we switched everything on and started taking the measurements. So out of 16 batteries, 5 were completely failed. 2 were reading 6 volts. That means total internal cell failure. That you can never recover that. Once the cells fail, a battery usually inside it has what you call cells. So when the cells completely fail, you cannot go back to that. So the other 11 were deeply discharged at 11 volts. They had been sitting at almost zero capacity for weeks. So this 48 kilowatt hour battery bank, on paper, when you calculate, they were gel batteries, lead acid batteries. It was delivering about 4 kilowatt hours in reality. That is 10% of its rated capacity. The panels, however, those were fine. The MPPT charge controller was still working. We confirmed the solar side of the system was completely intact. So the solar side was intact, the AC side was one that had an issue because the motherboard of the inverter was fried. So 127 volts of the MPPT inputs, 20 amps of charging current, about 2 kilowatts of generation. Even with a broken system, the sun was still doing its job. That's what we found when we went on site. So the solar side, as I said, was still working well. And so here is a solution. So the client, who is based out of the country, she had 2 choices. Option A was to replace the inverter and fix some of the batteries, cheaper upfront, but mixing old degraded batteries with new ones shortens the new one's lifespan. And even mixing the same batteries, they could have the same parameters, but from different companies is usually not advisable because when you mix the 2 batteries, each manufacturer and their battery, the method of whatever chemical electrolyte they use, or the method of the sizes of the cells, you will find that they have different internal resistance. So that is not advisable. So on the second option was a full upgrade, a new inverter, new lithium batteries, full protection system, and later 8 additional panels to increase the array from 10 kilowatts to 15 kilowatts peak, so that you'll be able to cover all the loads comfortably in the house and put the house 100% off grid. So of which you're speaking now, the house is 100% off grid. They're not relying on Kenya Power anymore, or the grid. So she chose option B, and honestly, it was the right call. The other option was also to maybe try and repair the inverter. You'd say, why did you not repair the inverter? Trying to repair an inverter at this level would mean that we are actually playing what you call, you'll be gambling. It's a toss game. Might work, might not work, might be the same. So you'll end up wasting a lot of time carrying the inverter, taking it to be fixed. But it's a hit and miss. Once an inverter usually is burnt out, coming back from it is usually a little bit tricky. So the owner procured a new day 12 kilowatts inverter, hybrid inverter, 2 LV Topsun lithium iron phosphate batteries of 16 kilowatt hour each. The total came to 32 kilowatt hours of storage. So we also included an automatic voltage switch, DC surge protectors, battery isolators, the full package to ensure that the system now is safe. And most importantly, this system now generates enough energy to fill those 2 batteries completely by 11 in the morning every single day. So the family now has reliable solar power day and night for the first time since that system was originally installed. And so now, as we conclude, In the next episode, I'm going to show you exactly how we tested those 16 batteries one by one and what the readings told us about the state of the whole system. If you have a solar system at home, I want you to do one thing after watching this video. Ask your installer if you have an automatic voltage switch installed. If they say no, or if they do not know what that is, you can always give us a call. We are Aretha Solar Power Solutions, based in Eldoret. We design, install, and fix solar systems the right way for homes, businesses, industries, whether be it commercial, residential, or any other use. Then you can always reach to us. The numbers in our bios will right down here. So the links are in the descriptions. You should like and subscribe if this was useful to you, and share it with anyone you know who has a solar system. This could save them a lot of money. If, say, you're out of the country, or you're a place where it's not reachable, or you're busy, you're in the city, and you want your folks back home to have solar power, you can always reach to us, call us, and we would go install and make sure the system is safe and easy to understand for your folks back at home, so that anyone, even the farmhand, will both operate the solar system, because we'll give them training. So see you in episode 2.